Records like called my business manager. They thought it was real. Like I was like, that's not me singing. Y'all don't want to hear that. Go ahead.
As Josh, there's a sense of urgency. Every week there's a sense of urgency. But the feeling after the last 2 weeks, going to up the way to 22, it's a little more intense.
I think, if I'm honest, the way that Josh and everyone in this building has like made it, like our mindsets and the way we do it is we win or lose, it's gonna hurt. We're gonna correct it and we're gonna work it's like even on good days at camp, like bad days at camp, we came in and did the same thing every day. So like he really tries to make it because he's played in he's coached in some of the biggest games. He's been around it, that he knows that that's the process on how to do it. And so he's just teaching us that there's no heightened sense of anything. It should always be heightened. And like he has really put that pressure on. I really mean it. He's really put that pressure on us since day one. Like OTAs, day one we're learning the system. He's correcting us and teaching us like we had been in it 8 years. You know what I'm saying? But we immediately found out that this is the standard. And so if I'm honest, we came in and he's the exact same Josh, and he expects the same thing at practice and all those kind of things, honestly.
It's probably hard to quantify this, if not impossible. But when you do look at the film, is there a sense that it's kind of right there on getting this thing working?
Oh, we're very close. But close doesn't count in winning football games. And so, when we turn the film on, we see the things that we're doing good, and you feel good about those things, and you're like, okay, we've seen the growth from camp in those areas, and in from the first week to the second week. We saw the growth in some areas, but then we're like, but we still got to get this right. We still got to get that right. And I'll let him talk about those things. But to me, I truly believe in exactly what he says. Like, hey, I'm going to tell you what to do. Now let's go out there and let's do it, and see if we can retain it, see if we can handle it and all that kind of stuff. So, we're close, but it doesn't matter yet. You know what I mean?
Small sample size, Derek, obviously. It's only going to be 2 games in this system, 2 real games for you anyway. How comfortable are you right now?
Yeah, I feel so much more comfortable than I did like a month ago. When you get out there and you do it and you can it's different from the sideline. It's different. Training camp's different, right? There's a different clock in the game because now I'm getting hit, right? There's different things and all that. So I can turn the film on and I have experience from that point of view in the system. I have experience hearing his voice, knowing what he wants me to get to. I've always said that even with Gru and with the other guys, I was like, I always want him to know, I want to go to exactly what he wants. I want him to think, oh, that's exactly where I think the ball is going to go. And so I think that's going to grow, obviously, but I think small sample size, first 2 games, hopefully I'm doing some of those things where he's like, yep, that's what I thought, next play, so he can just feel comfortable in doing that.
You mentioned that today. I asked him what his comfort level was with your comfort level, and he said there was a play in the second half where he kind of saw it, and it kind of clicked like, that's it exactly. You know what he's talking about? Or?
I do, yeah, I do, but I'll let him talk about it. I'm not going to say it,
Right.
But yeah, I know what he's talking about, and but that's this far along in my career, hopefully I could be able to grab it fast and see something and do what he's teaching me, And again, I'm not perfect by any stretch of the means at all, but I'm trying my best just to execute it exactly how he sees it, And so I remember that play.
You said the aggressiveness will come in time as you get more and more comfortable. You see that as well. Whether it's yards down the field, the throws down the field. He was talking about that this morning in terms of coming in time.
Yeah, oh yeah. That stuff comes, especially depending on. There's so many factors, as you know. There's so many factors. Here's first read, here's second read, but there is this one, And sometimes you're playing in a game and you got to get them out. You got to do this, you got to do that. But that stuff will come, for sure. It's I think that there's been years where we've done this and we've had to figure it out that way, and there's been years where we're just launching them all the time. You know what I mean? And so there's a fine line, as I've always talked about with that. But as I get more comfortable and I understand exactly what he expects every time. We had a good talk after this game and, showing, hey, this play, hey, you did this right, but hey, think about, I'm like, oh yeah, okay. And so I'm getting better at it too.
Derek, it looks like they're still kind of sorting things out on the offensive line, rotating. Are you cognizant of who's out there? When you're in the huddle in the game, does it phase you? Does it impact you at all?
I don't know it during the game, unless the center changes, because the snaps are different, right? But the way that we've been doing that at camp too. So you just kind of get used to that. And so for me, I haven't really noticed okay, he's in now this, it's not, I haven't noticed it like that. But yeah, I mean, those guys are competing, and whoever they think should be out there, there's going to be out there.
Derek, Josh Jacobs, I guess for lack of a better word, is looked noticeably energetic this year. Obviously before games, but then he said even when things weren't going your way in the second half, he was on the sideline trying to cheer people up, make sure people's minds were right. I know you've always talked about your positive mindset. Have you seen that from him as well? And is that something he's always had, or has it kind of developed these years you've been with him?
Yeah, I think he's becoming more vocal. I think he's getting more comfortable with who he is and all those kind of things. And I think those are all positives. He's such a dynamic player, and when he runs the way that he can run, I tell him all the time. I'll grab him by. There was a time in the game, I grabbed him by his face mask and I said, "That's how you freaking run." It's exciting, man. It gets everybody going. There was a couple of times where he's making 2-3 guys miss, turning them, boom, and then going and boom, lowering his shoulder That kind of stuff is good for everybody. And then when he comes to the sideline, of course you're going to listen to that guy, because he's giving his heart out there. And so I've been very proud of him. He's come a long way, from when he first got here. He's so young, and to where he's at now. I'm very proud of Josh.
Remember when that game was? Last year?
I did this last game.
Okay, last game.
Oh, I did, yeah. He's been doing it, but I remember this past game, I grabbed him and I just bro, that's freaking it, because that'll help everybody else, for sure.
A lot of times the first practice after a loss like you guys had Sunday tends to be a little bit more intense, maybe a little bit more physical. Is that what you saw out there today?
Yeah, we had to bring it, and when it's not to the certain standard, Coach Josh will just tell us, hey, let's go, And so, I promise you, being around him now, I don't know the exact months, but there hasn't been a day that's gone by where he misses one detail. You know what I mean? And from whether it's a step or eyes or this or physicality or and it's impressive. I told him today, I was like, thank you. I did. I told him thank you because I was like, when he just pushes us and calls everything out, we can only get better, or you either get better or you just I don't want to do it, and then you don't end up lasting in the league. You see it year after year, but when you have someone that cares about you that much to tell you every time, to correct you and keep you in line, myself included, it's so nice. When he corrects me, I'm like, thank you, because he's always trying to push me in one direction, and that's just to be better.
All right, let's take a question real quick.
Yeah. Yes.
Aaron Judge,
man. Oh, I love him. I told him about maybe 7 home runs ago. I was like, man, just congratulations. I sent him a message just how happy I was and how proud of him I was. That's historic, especially with the Yankees. But it's not tampering for me, so hopefully he ends up a Dodger. So we'll see.
And you can make that call to EEC.
Yeah, he's gonna need a bank here soon.
As Josh and Derek, where he sense of urgency for it. There's a lot of football, but the way this thing lost for the first 2 years, is it 6 and 5 years are really different? Maybe 3 years after done this test.
The second part is more it. It's any way you lose. Obviously, there's different ways that if you're getting blown out, it's I guess a little different sense of urgency. But a loss is a loss at this point. We gotta figure it out, and the urgency is definitely there right now. And there's a lot that went into why we didn't win that football game this past week. But at the end of the day, a loss is a loss. So we gotta be on our stuff and get ready to go out there and get a win now.
I know it doesn't work this way, but second half against the Chargers, first half against the Cardinals, you guys are up 31-6 or 31-7. So you can put together 4 quarters of good football. There's no question about that. But doing it, in one game, what becomes a trick?
Yeah, that's what we did in those games is play 2 and 2. So we haven't played 4 yet. If you want to put those together, but that's not how a football game works. So, you just got to lock in and demand it from yourself. Every player, you got to learn how to put the foot on the gas and for lack of better words, break their necks. When you got them in a corner like that, and that's the way that I've learned to play the game, and that's the way that I hope that this team will play the game. And part of it is just keeping that mindset, never getting comfortable, just thinking 0-0, especially at half. You go in there, I know, this game we come in and we're up at half. It's going to be a little different of a feeling. And I like to think everybody kind of had that feeling this past week, but obviously we didn't really represent it the way we went out there and played in the second half. So you got to have it in your mind and then go out there and follow up with the way you play.
See, every game requires all 53 guys. We know that. But in a situation like this, kind of bouncing back from that game, is it kind of incumbent on the big name, the star players, to step up and take another hit their power?
No, no. It's on everybody. It's like you said. It's not on. It's not going to be on Davante Adams to go and save the season or save the game or whatever. It's not going to be on Derek Carr. It's not going to be on. It's on everybody. Everybody got a role. I mean, the game can be won or lost at special teams, one play at the end of the day. So it's on everybody to think that it's your job to do your job, and if you do, and everybody has that mindset. I mean, you may call me crazy, but I think that if any team, no matter what team it is in this league, if everybody has it on their mind that their job on every given play, they got to give their all, whether they're play amazing or whatever. If you play as hard as you can on any given play, I think any team in the league will win the game against whoever. If every single person buys into that way, so especially if you have a lot of talent and you have a really good team on paper like what we do. If everybody buys in and they got the right mindset on every play, and you thinking about as one play seasons every single time you get out there, which is not easy to do, but that's what separates teams in this league is how disciplined can you be and how many plays can you make over and over and not get tired of doing the right thing, time after time, and that's what we're working towards.
So to piggyback off that, when you look at Titans' last game, is it safe to say that they're going to be just as dangerous at 0-2, and they may not be as indicative as what we saw on Monday?
Maybe, but you gotta. I mean, just because I'm talking about it right now, don't mean that's what we're gonna do. At the end of the day, so Mike Vrabel can get up there and talk to those boys and tell them it's a must-win situation, or say exactly what I'm saying. But it's on the players to get out there and play. You got to do it, and you got to have that discipline to, channel that energy in the moment, and that's what it really comes down to. It's not about what the coach talks about or what the players get in a group. You want to have a damn meeting on the sideline. None of that matters. It's about what you do. It's about how you play, not about who you are.
Getting to know you as a player, how do you take losses as far as, especially in games where you probably aren't as productive as you'd like to be? Like you type that maybe gets upset or take some time to think about it, then maybe gives Derek a call or coach or something like that. How do you?
Yeah, I'm more of a, especially after a game like that where, it's just all different types of levels of frustration. Obviously the part of me not being able to produce the way I expect, obviously that's frustrating. But it's not even, for me, it's not just that. It's the bigger picture. If Darren goes out there and has a monster game, or Hunter, they have a monster game, or, the run game is working and it's one of those games where we just pounding it, like, it is what it is. I'm not expecting it's going to be like that for me every game. So, if I go out and have 20 yards or 50 yards, whatever, that's not even what it's about. It's about the way that the offense looks. And if I can't be a factor in the game, and it does look bad, that's when I have frustration about my, productivity. It's not about wanting to be all pro. I mean, I hold myself to that type of standard because it helps the team ultimately. So that's what's on my mind is obviously I want to go out and have a 200-yard game every single game I go out there. That's on my mind, but it's not realistic that it's going to be that way. So I just try to keep it in my mind so I can at least hold up my end of the bargain.
We have time for one more, guys.
Monty, you and Derek obviously have a long history of chemistry and everything together, but you hadn't been teammates since 2013 Fresno. What do you see from him in terms of his comfort level in this scheme, in this offense right now? Only 2 games, small sample size.
Yeah, no, definitely a small sample size, and there's so many things that goes into playing quarterback, man. It's tough because obviously, and this is just the way we are as a team. We're gonna be hard on each other. If he's not comfortable back there, the first, second play of the game, he's getting hit. Obviously, that's something that we all got to work on because that helps Derek be able to do his job and be comfortable back there. Same thing, he's not going to be that comfortable throwing the ball if the wide receivers are dropping the ball every single play or, whatever it is, if it's not great calls. At the end of the day, we all got to work together to help, and, that's the toughest position on the field to play. So I'm damn sure going to do the best of my abilities to try to help him make his job as easy as possible. And, the same with, the guys up front, the more that they can, stabilize the pass rush or whatever and all that good stuff, that'll allow him to be more comfortable. But as far as the scheme, I think he's really comfortable with that. It's just a part of, it's early in the season, which is, some of the stuff that you'll see early that hopefully you won't see later on in the season. So as we get going and get warmed up more, and then, like I said, everybody doing their job to make sure he stays clean and, has a clear mind to be able to sit back there and deliver.
Great. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks.
Yep. Thanks, guys.